There's a ton of content out there, and if you don't know where to start, it can be overwhelming, even paralyzing. So let's fix that. Welcome to Simply Cyber, a community of tens of thousands of aspiring and active cybersecurity professionals focused on networking, knowledge sharing, and professional development. I'm Dr. Gerald, Auger, Chief Content Creator at Simply Cyber, inviting you to get the answers to your cybersecurity problems with hundreds of cybersecurity videos answering your frequently asked questions, interviewing industry experts, and live streaming daily cyber threat briefings hosted by me. Now get the stories and insights you won't find anywhere else. Hit subscribe now and dig into all the fresh content on the channel and in the community. Nothing should stop you from launching and leveling up your cybersecurity career today.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Gerald with Barricade Cyber here, being so honored and privileged to be here to host y'all's show. Bear me a few moments of grace. I'm literally pulling a Dr. Gerald Auger today. Funny story, you set your alarm, you normally get up at a normal routine, things of that nature. You accidentally press the wrong button. You're like turning in your bed. You're like, man, I hear the birds. It's going to be a good morning. It's awfully bright outside. Look at the alarm. Ah! So bear me a second. It is going to be a little bit of a hot mess express trying to get things up and running. But I know you guys, y'all know me, that we are still going to have one excellent show. Let's bring up that chat. Let's share some intro music, because we're going to do it just like we always do, ladies and gentlemen. I am so happy to be here. While I'm doing this, turn that down a little. Exactly. It happens to all of us at some point in time in our gracious lives. I'm going to make sure I do have mod chat up. And let's see. Well, I'd give myself the ransomware bingo today, ladies and gentlemen. Literally, I learn more. I don't do French press, but I feel like Dr. Gerald Auger taking that first sip of coffee. I was worried. I was panicking. I'm like, oh, it's not going to be ready in time. Come on, coffee pot. Come on, coffee pot. All right. Exactly, DJ B-Sec. I seen this comment the other day, right before, y'all know me, I go ADHD, but let's move the screens this way. A lot of folks are like, hey bro, you should really license your Windows, you're running pirated. Hey bro, I'm running Sandbox. You don't ever license Sandbox. So anyway, let's seriously get this thing started, ladies and gentlemen. Enough clowning around. Actually, sorry if I'm giving anybody vertigo on that one, flopping the screens around. What's rest? Exactly. All right, today is, would you believe it, Tuesday, the 25th of the month, the day of the Lord. You know what? We have this official reading that we're supposed to read, and I suck at that. But my name is Eric Taylor. Once again, I am with the CEO and Chief Forensic Operator here at Barricade Cyber Solutions. This is episode 651 of today's cyber threat briefing today. You know, we go through this all the time. We're going to talk about all the top news that the CISO series has curated for us today, and we're going to talk about it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we're going to make sure that you are at your top of your game, so that way you can go out there today and crush it in the world of cybersecurity. If you are new here, please say hashtag first timer, sorry, hashtag first timer in the chat. Let us know that you are new. We want to be able, as Dr. Gerald Auger, we want to open up the circle. We want to welcome you in and welcome you to the party and let you be a part of this. If you are been here for a while, you know, definitely drop in that hashtag Team SC in the chat. Everything is auditable, so that way if you need to file your CVEs, like your guy right here, for his GAC, and you know, you got to be able to prove that you were here. So definitely say hi to the chat, say hi to the new people, and let's have some fun. I will talk about one of the show's stream sponsors today. Again, I do feel the privilege of being able to, you know, co-host. So I will not talk about myself a whole lot. Everybody pretty much knows who I am, but I will share my sea shanty at the end. And if this is the first time you're here, you'll figure out who I am really quick and kind of what I do. So I feel like I get benefits in other ways instead of mentioning my website. But let me tell you about, seriously, my good friends over there at Black Hills Information Security. You know, they are disrupting the training thing. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are doing a lot of training, but not a lot of them really do a really effective job. Take it from me, I literally go and pay for the expensive SAN classes because I have to. Right, you know, I'm not taken seriously in my role as a digital forensics incident response unless if I do not take SANs. That is the industry standard if you want to be taken seriously. So I have to take that type of stuff to be considered a professional in the industry, literally. But I want you to consider Antisyphon training for those who are definitely trying to get into the industry, you're trying to break in. He's becoming a fast buddy of mine, but I do love dealing with Zach Hill and Zelda and everybody over at Black Hills that are just really paving the way for you to pay what you can in your training. Look at, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I've sat through a lot of their classes over the years, but Bo Bollock is one of my favorite ones. Listen to John Strand go, especially if you were in one of his recent ones. You know, he was talking to developers, literally calling developers out, like, hey, blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. And I just love people who speak the truth. He's like, if you don't like it, just look at the cats. Just look at the cats. And their Discord was just filling up with cats. That's crazy. So you're really going to have a really, really good time when you are taking their classes. It's fun. It's high paced. It's not turn to page 4. And I know this is not the official ad read, ladies and gentlemen, but I want to give you my personal experience from this and let you know that excuse me, that John Strand and the entire team over there are making it very, very easy and very, very affordable, and more importantly, very fun for you to learn these skills and be able to become the best you breaking into this industry, right? So please consider Antisyphon training. Please consider what they are offering you for their pay what your class as some of the entry levels, and be able to level up your skill and make yourself a better person today by studying for tomorrow, right? With that, trying to just thinking out loud again. Like I said, I literally just woke up probably about 20 minutes ago now. Let's see, it said first timers, Team SE. If you're new here, yep. If you're if you got a CVE, yep. I think we covered it all. I think we covered it. It's a little janky, but I think we got it. Now we do have, thank you mods for bringing this out. We do have two first timers into the chat from Restream over on LinkedIn. Christopher Drew, welcome to the party, pal. And whoever Nana is, welcome to the party, pal. I don't have the sound, but we'll do the, not calling you a donkey, just trying to come up with the sound. And I'm not sure. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, because I have got enough of a hot mess going on over here for everybody in the room that I'm literally trying to remember where I put this stupid thing. Here we go. I do not like the way my screen is set up. But anyway, I digress. Let's get this show started.
10-second security tip. Go.
So I always
That is not it. What is CISO Series doing to us today, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, mod chats are definitely going into the chat and doing the donkeys, the hee-haws. I definitely want a shirt for Jackwagon. Goodness gracious, do I ever. And I think we just need to put a donkey inside of a wagon. All right, let's try this one more time, because it's not a Simply Cyber podcast if we don't have audio issues, ladies and gentlemen.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. I'm Lauren Verno. Indonesia battles LockBit 3.0 ransomware. Indonesia's national data center has been compromised, causing disruptions to 200 government services, including immigration checks at airports. While some services, including those immigration checks, have been restored, efforts to recover others are ongoing, with authorities refusing to pay the $8 million ransom demand. The National Cyber and Crypto Agency reports detecting samples of LockBit 3.0 ransomware in the attack.
Wow, she actually took a long breath on that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So if you don't know what LockBit is, either you're very new to the industry or you've been living under a rock. So LockBit is one of the tier one, what I call tier one ransomware groups. And ads are going to drive me nuts this morning. So you're going to learn. We've discussed this many times of what plugins I like to use. I'm just call it unblock. So we'll get that going. But LockBit is definitely one of the tier one ransomware groups that is out there causing waves, impacting victims who they like to lovingly call their clients, and they want to be your friend. And yeah, so they are definitely going through and causing more and more havoc. If you did not know, if you've been dealing with some of the CDK stuff, if you've been listening to some of the other threat actors like Playgroup and Inc. ransomware and things of that nature, then you'll know that you may not know that that LockBit is actually creating a new variant. We seen the other day, I think it was Thursday or Friday, it get flagged up on my radar that there is a 4.0 LockBit encryptor that's being portrayed out there and been uploaded on some of this stuff. So be aware. LockBit has zero plans of going away, even though the LockBit sup is on the FBI Most Wanted. One of the key people that help make LockBit and other threat actor groups payloads be able to get bypass EDRs and AVs. So their tactics are definitely hindered a little bit, but it's definitely not. They're not out, right? And if LockBit 4.0 is not officially out, it will be very soon. Their website still says 3.0, but we'll see what's happening. Or we could be completely wrong. There has been versions of LockBit leaked out before that so people was able to pretend to be LockBit, and it could be just be a spinoff. Time will tell. We've had several cases that pretend to be LockBit. They're communicating by email, and their decryptor. The only reason we're saying that they're using LockBit's infrastructure that was leaked out is because of the decryptors. Um, data center being only asked for 8 million in ransom does seem a little low to me, but it is in another country. So, we are talking about Indonesia. I don't know what the transfer rate is from the USD to whatever currency that Indonesia used. I'm sure chat will let me know in a little bit, but it definitely is something to be aware of. They are definitely out there. Don't sleep on them. They're there. They're going to cause havoc. They're going to cause pain. They're going to do what they want to do, right? So it's another day, at least in LockBit, and any sort of info security for threat actors. It's another day that ends in Y, ladies and gentlemen.
LockBit claims U.S. Federal Reserve breach.
Oh, wouldn't you know?
The LockBit ransomware gang is claiming to have compromised 33 terabytes of data, including, quote, Americans' banking secrets from the U.S. Federal Reserve. The group posted the claims on their data leak site and threatened to publish the stolen data today, Tuesday, June 25th, if the ransom is not paid. However, the group has yet to publish any samples of the stolen data, leading many to be skeptical about whether this is an actual breach or merely an announcement for attention.
This is exactly right. So, just as I was just saying a moment ago, even their banner still says 3.0. I wouldn't be surprised if 4.0 wasn't already getting out there and being used and being tested in the environment. That's why some of the places like VirusTotal and hybrid analysis and things of that. Joe Sandbox, I believe, even has it. So, and I know a lot of them will share amongst themselves as well. So, it's 4.0 is probably going to be out very soon and rebranded, or it's a spinoff, one of the two. And this is also, I just as the story said, I've been very skeptical about this particular one. While I am very much of the generation where we stick it to the man, and say F the government, for those zennials and all that stuff out there. I'm an old, I don't care. But, you never really want to see at the same time your federal government being impacted in a negative way that could disrupt your care of life or the others around you, right? So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, but I do wonder. Goodness, excuse me. I do wonder if this isn't just LockBit sup or somebody at LockBit, kicking rocks and screaming that they're mad at the U.S. federal government and saying that they compromised them. If memory serves me correctly, and it probably doesn't, but I do believe that there was another federal agency that LockBit claimed that they had compromised, and it turned out to be bogus. I can't remember. I'll do my research after the show and after the coffee fully kicks in and be able to advise on that. But yeah, this is definitely one that may bring down LockBit servers, because I know myself included with the rest of the digital forensic people out there, the threat intel, the SOC people. There's so many people hitting all of these sites for LockBit. So they have 5 or 6, if memory serves me correctly, a mirror site. So they all just mirror. It's like high availability, but not really. Just to mean that you can't do a website you can't do a fully qualified domain name as high availability on the Tor network. So, but the backend infrastructure apparently is high availability, where it's actually cloned across multiple web servers, or just could be the same one with multiple URLs pointing to the same one. You never know. Anyway, definitely keep an eye on this. If you're in the Twitterverse, if you're on the dark web, I'm sure you and I will probably our web traffic will probably pass each other.
SEC reports pile in following CDK Global attack. We're continuing to learn more about the impact from a ransomware attack on CDK Global last week. On Monday, we reported that the Black Suit ransomware gang has claimed responsibility for the attack. And now we're learning multiple car dealers have reported disruptions to the SEC. Some of those companies include Lithia Motors, Group 1 Automotive, Penske, and Sonic Automotive, who in their SEC filings have said they've had to implement incident response plans and that most of them have severed all connections to CDK as a precautionary measure. According to Bloomberg, CDK Global is planning to pay the ransom, the amount of which has not been disclosed, though.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, huddle in. We're going to talk about this one because she says a couple of things that was wrong as crap. All right. Black Suit has not claimed responsibility. It was leaked out from people who are in the know that Black Suit is part of it. We checked Black Suit. There's no mention, at least as of yesterday. There could be some this morning, so big asterisks, right? I was hoping that the SEC filing would name the threat actor. Some organizations do when they file the SEC filing. Those who don't know, there's a lot of rules and regulations around breach notifications, and the SEC is a little bit more stringent where you have to notify the SEC that you are suffering from any sort of disruption of service and potentially a breach within, I think it's 5 days, maybe less. So, they're filing the SEC report and they're legally required to do so, right? So, don't be like, oh, the CDK Global is doing what they're supposed. They're such noble people. Yeah, right. I mean, they could be very well good people. I'm not trying to shame them. I'm just, they're just going through the legal motions that they're required to as being a publicly traded company and, following with their paperwork with the SEC. So, definitely keep us on an eye on this story. This is definitely a very interesting one. Just to recap that CDK Global impacted once. My personal suspicion is they did not do proper containment, which any digital forensic firm or internal or external worth their salt would do what's called proper containment before doing restoration. The containment actually serves as multiple purposes. You're able to make sure that the threat actor is not still in the environment. You're able to see what your blast radius is of what devices are potentially impacted by said ransomware. And when you're doing containment, those individual devices are not able to be restored, right? Because you're pulling forensics, you're doing all this stuff, and from contained devices that have been impacted by the incident. You're spinning up new infrastructure, new VMs, you're restoring those from backup. I know it's a pain, but in the effort of trying to get literally thousands of clients back up and running, I suspect they did not do proper containment. The threat actor was still in there, seen them doing restoration efforts, and knocked them out again. So you may be saying, oh, well, if they had these backups and they're restoring from that stuff, why didn't they just do it again? Because, again, pure my suspicion, the threat actors are in there. They seen, oh, we missed this whole VLAN that's over here, and we need to go impact that now because they were in the network. They didn't do proper containment. Containment is so overlooked. And I know it's such a pain when you've been impacted in your organization and all you want to do is get the freaking network back up and you want to get back to business operations, but containment is so freaking important for everything else. Doing forensics, doing analysis, doing restoration efforts, containment is so important. So, a little ADHD moment there for you, ladies and gentlemen. You guys know that I do that, but I want to harp on that one just for a second. So thank you for giving me the grace to do that. I do definitely feel that containment was not properly executed, and they may have suffered from what a lot of businesses suffer, where they did not know their full asset inventory. They may have thought that they had full containment, but they had a completely different VLAN that they didn't have in their inventory sheet. They may not have been checking. That's why it's always good to run network scanning tools to see, do you have, compare with your EDR or whatever containment application that you're using. Oh, here's my list of 5,000 devices, and I'm going to run a scan. Oh, I only see 397 devices. Oh, we have a problem here. The numbers don't match, right? So you got to take care with that stuff. So they, again, pure speculation because I don't know the full details, and it probably won't be released for months, right? Didn't do containment efforts. Threat actor was still in there. Was watching. Now they've impacted the backups, so they can't just restore for backup. That's why they're still down, and it's going to be a while. The other thing, if you are a car dealership, it's been a while since I've had a client in the car industry, but back in those days, there was two major players, CDK and Reynolds. It's a complete inventory key fob system. They integrate with the key fob systems. It does everything. It's like the lifeblood for vehicles. I don't think Reynolds did this back in the day. They probably do it now, but it used to be, when your sales rep went to get a car, it was an actual independent system that you would key fob into and be able to, take a key out and to go take a customer for test drives, things of that nature. Those were typically independent systems. I do think both of those platforms and some of the other ones that may have emerged in my absence that sorry, mod chat. It's definitely, they were trying to become a more integrated platform, so they could be able to see, on vehicle VIN number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bob took it out for a test drive. Jerry took it out for a test drive. And Reynolds took it out for a test drive. What are they doing on our lot? But anyway, you get the point. So much stuff is integrated into one cohesive environment that it's very, very hard to run a business when your core software is impacted, right? And I think I haven't said the word ransomware really to do the ransomware bingo, but I think we're definitely talking about enough stuff that's in my wheelhouse. We're going to do this. So get ready. We're going to destroy the chat, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to spend Joseph's paycheck. So everybody say thanks, Joseph, in the chat. There we go. On to the next story, ladies and gentlemen. Well, of course, wouldn't be a Simply Cyber series if it wasn't working.
DOJ charges cybercrime group for $71 million in damages.
Oh boy.
4 Vietnamese members of the Fin9, that's FIN9 hacking group, have been charged by the Department of Justice for crimes that led to the loss of more than $71 million to U.S. companies. Between May of 2018 and October of 2021, the defendants hacked networks using phishing and supply chain attacks, stealing private information, employee benefits, and funds. They redirected digital employee benefits and exfiltrated PII and credit card information, selling stolen gift cards via social media and cryptocurrency marketplaces. The defendants face sentences ranging from a minimum of 2 years in prison, with potential cumulative sentences spanning several decades.
Good? Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of, I should say, we've been seeing the lack of a lot of threat actor activity. And I do think this may be part of the situation where, a lot of the threat actor communities are being taken down. Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop. So, play that in your head. One of these days we'll be able to get DJ BSEC to help us get all of our stuff set up. Only been asking for a year. Excuse me. Just picking on you, bud. So yeah, I mean, it's good. That more cybersecurity, or not cyber, more threat actors are being faced. And it makes me wonder, going back to the LockBit, I think they just put a massive target on their back, like they didn't have one already, right? So it's very interesting to see more and more people getting taken down. It does create moments of pause. I mean, I'm overdue to run some analysis over the past couple months to see where we are actually, where the numbers are for at least disclosed businesses that have, impacted a business, right? So, definitely follow up, keep an eye on it, put it on your radar. It's good. It's good stuff. It's good.
And now a word from our sponsor, Prelude. What would your security teams do with more time back in their day? Prelude provides an end-to-end threat management automation platform that quickly generates hunt queries, detection rules, and security tests from your threat intelligence to help you stay ahead of threats. Upload your own threat intelligence at preludesecurity.com/threats and get all of that in just 30 minutes or less. That's PRELUDE security.com/threats.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Normally, this is the time where Dr. Gerald Auger does a little bit of his own little stuff and his read, but I want to tell you about the LinkedIn Simply Cyber Challenge. This one kind of went off the rails a little bit. I definitely want to get this thing back up and running, ladies and gentlemen. So you'll see a little bit of how the sausage is made around here, at least on my system, because I'm not fancy like Dr. Gerald Auger. But if you are new to this community, you definitely want to keep an eye on hashtag Simply Cyber Community Challenge. Mods, Jenny and or Kimberly, can you let me know who has the baton? Oh, thanks. Jenny Housley, right on the mark. Thank you so much. I would say I would kiss you if HR wouldn't get mad. And why did it do that? Crazy copy paste. Let me just bring this in. Oh, our buddy Yosef, new to the community. I will drop this into chat. So this is the crutch of it, ladies and gentlemen. Simply Cyber Community Challenge, that hashtag. Always look for it. Look for people who are talking about it. The simple point of this whole thing is for you to talk about your entry into the cybersecurity industry and help people understand, that it's not an easy train. It's not 1 second, he's getting pinged in mod chat. Free DJ B-Sec. Sorry. So DJ B-Sec is pulling an IT move on me. I need to create a support ticket. Yeah, okay. Just let me know. Let me know what email address I need to send that to. DJ B-Sec. Be careful what you ask for. Anyway, definitely check out Joseph's post. I believe I posted in the chat. Yes, I did. So, go connect with him. He will talk about his journey. He's only got 32 followers. Let's blow this up, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, let's connect with him. Let's show him some love. He is part of Team SC, but you definitely want to keep a connection for Simply Cyber Community Challenge. I will do this on my own workstation. I will send him a connection request. All right, Joseph. So I just sent you a connection. Joseph, are you in chat by chance? He is. Awesome. So Joseph, please pass the baton to somebody else who maybe who may want to talk about their Simply Cyber community, their journey into Simply Cyber. I am freaking all over the place. This is you can tell I just woke up. I cannot even speak today. It's crazy. It's not normal. But definitely keep an eye out for Simply Cyber Community Challenge and grow your network, grow with like-minded folks, because social media is a big vast of insert adult comment here, and you can get lost in the way. So connecting with other folks that are in your industry and in your mindset and trying to advance your feed, so that way you are more you're a person who's able to be influenced and influence others with your thoughts on said topic of the day, and you'll be amongst friends, ladies and gentlemen. So definitely connect with Joseph, and definitely keep that hashtag. What is it in the chat? It's just the exclamation challenge, I believe. I know I fussed at Dr. Gerald Auger about this one for a while. Yep, there we go. So you'll see in the chat from the Nightbot. This is actually pretty cool. I spent a few moments to figure out all the filters, and of course it's not going to freaking work because I need to log in, and I'm not doing that on the stream. But it'll actually filter out everything, and it will show it in a progressive manner, or in a timeline manner of newest to oldest, so that way you can be able to do that. And please make sure you put that hashtag Simply Cyber Community Challenge if you take the baton, so that way people can find you and connect with you, and connect with those other ones on the past weeks to see how they are going to how they could be able to y'all could benefit each other's networks. And if you're into Hooters, apparently this thing just came up. Local Hooters closes permanently. So another business impacted, if that matters to you. Anyway, I think I've only been to that restaurant once in my life. I was not very impressed. Anyway.
30 million impacted by Shiny Hunter's breach. The Shiny Hunter cybercrime gang is taking credit for the Ticketek Australia breach, affecting around 30 million users. Now, we first reported this attack back in early June when the ticketing giant disclosed the breach, stating that customers' names, dates of birth, and email addresses were stolen by exploiting a third-party cloud provider. Now, this incident mirrors the recent Ticketmaster breach, where Shiny Hunters exploited poorly secured Snowflake accounts, impacting 165 organizations. Despite speculation, Ticketek has not confirmed a connection to Snowflake or identified Shiny Hunters as the culprits.
This whole thing, just for correction in my chat, I'm saying Yosip or Yosef. I think that's how you pronounce his name, like Yo and Sef, S-E-F. Yosef, if I'm butchering your name, forgive me. Hooked on Phonics never worked for me. But I think that's how you pronounce it. Yo, and then Seth. Yosef. But yeah, I hate to see. I'm not personally. I am not a fan of Ticketmaster because of all the charges that they like to do when you're just buying a. You literally would go try to buy a ticket in the cheap seats for like 20, 25 bucks or whatever, and your bill is miraculously 200 or 300 freaking bucks. Drives me freaking nuts every single time. Um, so I'm really hoping that more and more businesses are being spun up from the Ticketmaster BS. That it, because unfortunately, Ticketmaster is, in my opinion, a monopoly on the industry. So hopefully they get what they deserve to some degree. But if for to spin this for business, I've said it for a long time, and I'll keep freaking saying it. When you are going to store your data with a SaaS application vendor, or you're going to host it in the cloud somewhere, you need to do your due diligence, ladies and gentlemen, on who is managing and controlling access to that data. I know a lot of times it's very hard, right? You're trusting it in said broker, and you think that they are doing their due diligences, and they really are not. It just takes Carl to set up a new S3 bucket and improperly configure it, trying to expand their infrastructure, and these type of compromises could happen, right? So do your due diligence, the best that you can anyway, to find out who you're doing your business with, where are they storing your data, where are they, securing your data. Just because you have your vendor has a SOC audit, try to pressure them into a report of a full disclosed report of the SOC audit, and look at it's within the first couple of pages what the scope of the SOC audit is, and make sure that they're doing a SOC audit and other audits against the infrastructure that's in question. Because I am not lying to you when I can tell you for Barricade Cyber Solutions, I can literally give us a SOC 2 audit today on a truck. The truck goes to customer site sometimes. I can literally put that truck through a SOC 2 audit, pass it, and Barricade Cyber will have a SOC 2 audit. Now, my scope is limited to a truck, but we have a SOC 2 audit. And unfortunately, a lot of people think, oh, well, they're doing their due diligence. They have a SOC 2 audit. They passed their SOC 2. They must be secure. Oh, really? What did they have it audited? Or what did they audit? Oh, we don't know. But they have one. Find out what the scope is, ladies and gentlemen. There was Kaseya. Yeah, it was Kaseya. Now the coffee's sitting into me. So when they had their big breach and everything like that, they're like, oh, we had a SOC 2 audit. And people started looking at the audit. It was for their own internal infrastructure. It wasn't for the MSPs that was renting servers for their RMM platform. So yeah, they had a SOC 2. They were SOC 2 compliant. They had their audit, and they were able to say, yep, we have a SOC 2. But it was for their own internal operations. They weren't applying SOC 2 to people who were leasing servers and services from them. So hooray, I got confirmation from Josep. I said it the wrong way. Josep. Maybe that's what Joseph was actually hearing me say. But Joseph, yeah. So I may have been saying it incorrectly sometimes because I just caught myself doing it. So Joseph, sorry about that. For those who don't know, Joseph, you're a little bit new to the area, but casually Joseph works for us, and I always mess with him because there's a Korean comedy guy who's always saying Yosef, Yosef, and I'm always messing with him. So I think subconsciously I'm accidentally saying that sometimes. So we are running long, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we can try to pick this up. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on this. See what comes with Ticketmaster. Did they actually pay a decent fine? You know, the other part of this situation is we don't know, right? It just seemed like a lot of businesses just get a slap on the wrist, and we may see an $8 million, but this one was what, 8 million, right? Or am I thinking of a different story? Let me just check. Impacting 650 million customers. And to be fair, this is a snowflake issue, right? Not really Ticketmaster. But me personally as Eric Taylor, I like some of the poo getting thrown at Ticketmaster. Again, I just don't really care for them. And that's from a uh, that's just personal level. Come on, CISO series play. Joe Coy, he's Filipino. You're right. You're right. You're right. He is Filipino. Why did I call him Asian? I don't know why. He's always very tout about saying he's Korean or Filipino. But funny dude. Funny dude.
Despite speculation, Despite speculation, Ticketek has not confirmed a
We're going
connection
to
to
listen to
Snowflake
the end of
or
this one for 1
identified
second.
shiny hunters as the culprits.
Quick question. Has anybody picked up the baton? I want to make sure we don't get too far down the rabbit hole. Does anybody want the baton for a Simply Cyber Community Challenge? Has that been facilitated?
LivaNova USA notifies 130,000 of data breach.
Ooh.
LivaNova USA, a medical device manufacturer, is notifying 130,000 people that their personal information was compromised in an October 2023 ransomware attack. The LockBit ransomware gang has since claimed responsibility for the attack. The gang was able to evade detection for about a month before anyone noticed what was happening, which led to the group being able to steal 2.2 terabytes of data. The breach included names, addresses, social security numbers, and medical information.
All right, so my chat is definitely, before we get into the story, my chat is definitely correcting me a little bit that Filipino is Asian. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I don't like doing Worldwide Wednesday. My geography sucks. So, that takes about who knew? But anyway, back to being a little bit more serious, ladies and gentlemen. Let's actually move me over this direction. There we go. So, they're doing their proper disclosure, October to now, so we're talking 8 months since the incident. Depending on, this is a medical device manufacturer. For some reason, this does not ring familiar to me, the LivaNova, but they're a medical device manufacturer, and they got hit. So, another LockBit. So, if you were impacted, you'll get your email and or postal mail saying that they take your data cybersecurity seriously. And I'll just say, you know what? We're going to go long, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go long. So, if you have to dip right at the top of the hour, I'm terribly sorry, but I feel that this needs to be done because I am in this industry. Properly phrase this so I don't get canceled. Okay. A lot of times you see the same verbiage coming out over and over and over again. We take your data security and privacy very securely at insert business name here. I will say a lot of companies, it's pure BS. It's a legal, it's part of a legal notification. However, I can say without a doubt in the last several years that, and it may be just because our forensic firm definitely handles more in the SMB sector, especially the smaller business, typically 500 employees and less. And most of the time it's 3 to 200 employees and less sometimes. The They do not like that they got impacted. And so if you get one of these letters from a small business, know that they truly do feel this way. Because when you are a small business and you've been impacted by ransomware or anything like that, you have to understand that these folks literally have put their blood, sweat, and tears into these businesses, and they feel personally attacked because they're not able to operate business. They are not able to perform their craft, sell goods and services, whatever. Paying their employees, things of that nature, and they more than likely are subjected to ill-gotten advice from either internal or external factors of an IT MSP, a Carl, or whatever, and they thought they were doing the right thing, but they weren't. Or they just trusted that ABC MSP is putting the proper stuff in place because they've had conversations about it. And the business owners and a lot of the executive team don't know what they don't know, right? And they're trusting the people they've hired, either internal or externally, to give them the proper advice. And they were led a pile of crap. Now, I will say, there are, not trying to just completely on MSPs and stuff like that, there are a ton of them out there that need to have it. But I do know we've been coming into situations where the MSP or external IT person is like, hey, you really need to do it. It's fully documented. And they're like, yeah, no, we're just not paying for that. It's cutting into our bottom line. So, cool. I'm being called to be canceled by Rex. Thanks. I've now been canceled. Guess what? I don't care. I only care because I'm on this platform. That's literally the only reason.
Red Juliet cyber espionage campaign targets Taiwan and beyond. Red Juliet, a likely Chinese state-sponsored group, targeted Taiwan in cyber espionage campaigns from November of 2023 to April of this year. Recorded Future's research team reports the campaigns impacted 24 organizations, including government agencies in Taiwan, Kenya, and Rwanda. The group exploited known vulnerabilities in internet-facing appliances like firewalls and VPNs, using techniques such as SQL injection and directory traversal exploits. They also conducted post-exploitation activities with open-source web shells and a Linux privilege escalation vulnerability.
That's the end of that one, right?
Put
Yep, cool. All right, so yeah. So it looks like this is not really impacting the United States by any means because, hey, we're the winner. Only one of us is over here. They're black, aka this big pinkish, reddish color here is, the quote-unquote blast radius that you'll hear a lot of people use in terms of, cybersecurity incidents. What's your blast radius, things of that nature, or trying to figure out what the blast radius is. So Explain the vulnerability. I'm trying to give you some actionable intel, except for, it doesn't bother us. And into the chat, yes, I do know what cancel means, but can you really be canceled if you don't really care? Do. Over the last public-facing reports. Okay, so I have heard of Ethereal Panda. Of course, it's in CrowdStrike. I've heard about it. I didn't know this was tied to it. I haven't followed this one very closely. So, open source web shell Godzilla. Let's go down a rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my sandbox tanked out on its internet. Yay! Sandboxing. Limited infrastructure, ladies and gentlemen. Limited infrastructure. What can I say? Yeah, I'll have to... During jawjacking, I will spend a few minutes on my workstation and Google this thing up and see what this is. I'm sure it's some sort of GitHub repo. This may be full suspicion where it just may be a binary or executable that will relay web traffic through an open proxy. So that way you can get remote access into the infrastructure. See, Christopher, if you can't cancel Chuck Norris, there's no way you're canceling Eric Taylor. Got it. Has Chuck Norris have they tried to cancel him? I know they're trying to cancel Eminem. Good luck with that.
Push notification fatigue causes breach.
Ooh.
Another example of how hackers don't need to recreate the wheel.
Nope.
Old tactics work just fine. Following up on a story we first reported on last week, the Los Angeles County Department of Health Services suffered a data breach back in April that compromised sensitive information, including individuals' names, social security numbers, and medical information. We have now learned hackers were able to get in using a push notification spamming method, or push notification fatigue. This method overwhelms the user with MFA prompts until they approve the login attempt. In this case, the breach allowed access to 23 DHS employees and compromised more than 6,000 individuals.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go through tabletop. Told you we're gonna go long, so strap in. Hopefully you're in for the ride. So MFA fatigue, literally just like the story, but I'll just try to rephrase it a little bit. You got, your mobile phone of choice, and you are Microsoft to Authenticator. Well, that doesn't really have push notification, does it? Yeah, I guess it does. But you may be on Authy or Duo or whatever your favorite MFA choice is. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Your phone is just ba-ding, 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 over and over and over and over and over again. What do you do? What do you do in that situation? Now, there's been a lot. Those who don't know, on my YouTube, I definitely have Tabletop Thursdays. I'm going through and trying to recreate or redo some, and it's been brought up before, and we'll do this live. What would Eric do in this situation? Or what would I advise my clients to do in this situation? It is very simple. In this particular situation, it's notify the security team. I know it's very frustrating. Some businesses will give you a work phone for, to conduct business. Sometimes you're doing what's called BYOD. You're using your own personal phone for those type of communications. it should be discussed inside of your organization. What would you do? What are the proper lines of communication when you're going through an MFA bomb? And literally, it's what it is, an MFA bomb. And essentially what's going on is your username and password is already stolen. They've already got it. And now the threat actor, whoever it is trying to annoy the living crap out of you so that way you just say, I'll just say yes and it'll shut the hell up. And then they're in. It's a very real tactic. It's been around for a while. Not most of the time, organizations do not have a tactic to mitigate or even lines of communication. Who do we call when this is happening? In your organization, look around right now. Or think about it if you're driving. Please don't look around. Well, except for traffic. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Think about it, and who would you call if your MFA was being bombed or you were going through that? Who in your organization? If you're the CEO, who are you telling about this? Worst case scenario, until that can be implemented, I know it's going to suck, but turn your phone off. You can't get MFA bombed if your phone is off. Well, you can, but you won't notice it, and you can go back to sleep if there's nobody you can get a hold of. Because just like this morning, that's why I was running late. My phone is my alarm. And because I was half asleep, I pressed too far low on my screen and quit the alarm and set a little bit higher for the snooze. At 2 o'clock in the morning, it's very easy to accidentally accept an MFA request, even on the first time, because you're half asleep. So talk about it internally. Talk about what you would do, what is the proper lines of communication. And again, if you don't have one, you still need to develop it. That's okay. What do you do in the meantime? Turn your phone off? Borrow your neighbor, your spouse's, your kid's phone to call your boss? At 6 o'clock in the morning or whatever? And say, hey, just to let you know, I couldn't get a hold of you at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I'm letting you know now that I've had my phone off for the past 7-8 hours because I was going through an MFA bomb. To the point, upgrading Jeff, when they bomb, are they using different numbers each time? So upgrading Jeff depends on how the service is configured, right? You can configure Microsoft Authenticator, Duo, Authy, some of these other platforms just to do a yes and no prompt. And I know Microsoft is pushing very heavily to require a code every time you do it. Right? So it's getting harder and harder. I know if memory serves me correctly, brand new Microsoft tenants actually have code requirements being mandatory for any new tenants. And my Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it these days, is literally blowing the F up. What is going on in the ecosystem? More Julian Assange stuff. Those who didn't know, if you don't aware, Julian Assange was released from prison. So, but yeah, talk about it internally. Talk about how would you handle this, and create a temporary plan. Right? It's okay not to have something official and typed up. I mean, maybe it's a team of 2, right? So consider that. You probably hear that, don't you? Yeah, that was, for those who don't know, that was my team's calling. My apologies. I was letting it ring because I didn't think it was going to come through on stream. I need to create a ticket with DJ Basic. I think that's less a story. In my chat, isn't he being extradited? Yes, he's going to Australia where he's expected to plead guilty. And of course, there we go. CISO series.
The CISO winner was in benchmarks, but that doesn't seem to match real world situations. Is there something wrong with the tech, or does this come down to organizational issues? That's one of the.
All right, so yeah, that's definitely the end of it. All right, all right, all right. Let's migrate some stuff around over here. Those who don't know, you are new to this. I have a very janky system, so I have to use my I have to have at least something in the corners so that I can stream my audio. That's why everybody just looked at Teams. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in today. I do greatly appreciate it. We are getting ready to go into jaw jacking, where I will answer some of y'all's questions while I have time this morning, and be able to advance on some of the conversations that we've had today, or start a new conversation that may be, I was rickrolling everybody with this Teams call, exactly. So I will see you all in jaw jacking. If you have to dip, it's a pleasure seeing you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see y'all on the next one. I will not be hosting tomorrow. We do have another different host. We have another host for tomorrow. No spoilers. I've heard some rumors that there may be multiple people helping with Worldwide. I'm not sure if that's true, if that's been verified or not, but I've heard rumor. So definitely come here, be early tomorrow if you're dipping out. And we will kick over to the Simply Cyber Cafe. Thanks, everybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's me. I am not doing the whole fake eyeglass. I don't know. Does Jerry actually wear glasses? I've never paid attention enough during our private conversations. That sounded dirty. If he actually wears glasses or not, or if he's like me, where most of the time these are pretty much just readers, but looking at my screen most of the time, looking at small print, I definitely need them. Did you know that you actually have bifocals for readers? So like, I'm going to OSINT myself a little bit, but I think it's called farsighted. So everything in the distance I can see just fine, right? But they actually put the bifocal so you can do farsight and then like readers on the bottom. So technically I have bifocals, but so if you're new here, definitely put that Q colon mark with their question. Mods are definitely being very goofy. Oh, that's nearsighted. Thank you, DJ Be Sick. More calls to have me canceled. Cool. Getting caught up here in the stream chat, or that may have been some of the original, because I just realized I just scrolled a lot. Alpha Sierra, you're more than welcome. Happy to be a part of this, and so thankful that Dr. Gerald Auger allows me to be a part of this. Gary asks, how difficult is it using Sandbox? I'm trying it soon. I just enabled the virtualization since I had to put Windows Pro back. It's not hard. You type in Sandbox, it launches your Sandbox, and you're literally drag and dropping stuff that you want in there. just remember, Carrie, that Sandbox is, as I stated earlier. Oops. There we go. Switch this around. And I think I have to do this way. Yep. So Sandbox definitely only lasts for a little bit. And then your internet will just kind of kill out. So if you need internet for your Sandbox, it's only going to last for a little bit. So just be aware of that. Thanks, Kimberly, for pointing that out. Earlier, you talked about containment. Can you tell us more about that and the kinds of things to look for or do? Sure. So Roswell, UK. Here, long distance dedication and shout out goes out to the UK. My very, very improper case of casem. So you're going to want to use an EDR that allows for network isolation. That's first and foremost. You got CrowdStrike, you got Sentinel-1. I think even Carbon Black does it as well. I just don't have. Yeah, Carbon Black definitely has it because Kroll was using them for many, many years. And any cybersecurity or digital forensics firm worth their salt is definitely going to do that. So you're definitely looking for that. You're making sure your EDR is properly tuned for a lot of the TTPs of said threat actor. So a lot of times when you're being brought in on engagements, you already know who the threat actor is. Is it LockBit? Is it Black Suit? Is it this? Is it that? You're making sure your EDR is tuned for that particular threat actor and a lot of the common variabilities against all threat actors, like NL Brute and looking for PS exec and all the lateral movement TTPs and things of that nature that's very common under them. And seeing if those type of actions are being executed inside the environment. And what you're literally doing, you're going to network contain the environment. You're going to start processing forensics, and you're going to look if there's any signs of active threat actor activity going on, right? And try to eradicate, make sure the threat actor is not still in the environment, right? So when you're building out see you later, Jenna Hasley. When you're building out your new infrastructure, make sure you definitely have the EDR put out there so you can be able to actively see any activity that's being done, and making sure that you're able to review the logs. That's the biggest thing. So you're not going to go in and do proper network containment with a Webroot or Kaspersky or something. You're going to need a real EDR for it. So yeah, Roswell, UK, if you got further questions, definitely let me know. So George, does that mean it's getting progressively worse? 5 lenses, dude. I bet you I know when I got these, I'm still struggling with them a little bit. So I'm so used to looking in my peripheral vision. Learned it in the Marine Corps and some of the other stuff I've done in my life. You're always looking at your peripheral vision, and it will throw me off when I'm looking over here. If I'm looking too low over here, versus it's really, really weird. It kind of limits you on what you can do. Cancel the canceling. I am the olds. I'm happy with that. Yosef. Let me find his question. Yosef, I hate to tell this to you, bud. I did not come in a traditional manner. The only certs that I have are from GIAC. I mean, I got some basic ones like the A+, Network Plus, things of that nature when I was first getting into it. But I am a very unique individual that does what he wants. I've always been that way, unfortunately and fortunately. But I will give you two answers. One, I did not come into the industry the typical way. Well, I guess I came into the industry the hackerish way. I was a hacker for many, many years. You know, I've talked about it publicly. Hacked AOL, hacked the NSA. No, not the NASA, not the NSA, NASA. Sorry. Whew. I almost had a different 3-letter agency show up or give me a phone call. Roll tape, admit NASA, not NSA. I don't think the NSA was really around when I was a kid either. So, but to that fashion, you know, we did being a hacker and being, I guess, a Zentennial is a new term for us now. We have a different mindset and different things, way of doing things, and it's just worked out well for me. So, again, like I said earlier, the GX certs are definitely because of the industry that I'm in. Yeah, at some point they won't be relevant. I am strongly considering, because I do have to renew and go through the new courses because we're aging out, and the courses they're new versions of all the courses I've been taking, that I may go through it one more time and get what's called a master's certificate, so that way, you know, I will have that. I don't know if it will actually bode any real credibility to us in the industry when it comes to insurance companies, but we'll see. And that may be the last time that I go through a GIAC certification. Just catching up on mod chat here. Hack the planet, yep. Yeah, good question. I know I brought it up a couple of times. Did anybody get the baton? What is your work for home setup, and how do you balance that with home chores? Do you have a workflow for hour by hour? Yes, I do. I literally do. Sometimes it goes very, very sideways. So, you know, the work from home, definitely, it's in a different part of the house. So a lot of the stuff, I got really good with workflows in terms of like house chores and stuff like that when COVID happened. Because there was all these tips and tricks to keeping your house clean because you spend so much time at home and blah blah blah, that a lot of them I still do today. So like literally I do a load of laundry every day. In the morning I throw a load in. Around lunchtime I put it in a dryer, and by dinner time I got a load to put away. And it's very hard to have a bunch of laundry pile up when you're literally doing a load a day. And you're like, Eric, we don't have that much laundry. But you do. You have bed sheets. Those need to be changed out. You know, depending on, you know, your personal, I'm not going to go, depending on your personal cleanliness style. You know, are you doing them every week, every 2 weeks? Yeah, I'm not trying to say, you know, you should change them out once a week, or, you know, 2 weeks is the ideal thing, but, you know, I would say at least a month, depending on your sweating style, I guess. What part of the world you're in, right? So, I mean, we're down in the southeast. We tend to sweat a little bit more, and I'm fat, so I definitely wash my sheets maybe a little bit more often than a traditional person. Say in the northeast, because it's not as hot. Maybe. So, but yeah, I mean, my setup is I got outside of the Azure tenants or Azure VMs, I've got my DFI workstation here. I got a big wide one. Then I got a curved one here. I'm actually trying to figure out how to redo my desk because I actually, believe it or not, I need more surface room. And I want 2 more monitors. I want to have 2 curved monitors and 2 flat wide monitors over here. So I'm trying to figure out that whole setup, and I've come to the realization that I'm not going to be able to have potentially the standing. I just triggered my chat. So I've realized that it's going to be hard to have actual like 4 mounts or 4 monitor mounts, especially when you have like curved and flat and things of that nature, trying to figure all that stuff out. So I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work out just yet. So I don't know. It's always a work in progress. I would say there's a lot of stuff on GitHub that works really well, or that you can look at computer setups and stuff like that and get some creative ideas. There's a call to get me on VR monitors. No. No. What are y'all talking about? Oh, so Roswell UK asked a question. You mentioned proper EDR. You mean like OSSEC, the Hive Project, Snort, rather than like Nest? Roswell, you're mentioning, unfortunately, items in different sectors and different purposes. EDR is endpoint detection and response. Again, CrowdStrike, Falcon, Sentinel-1, Carbon Black. I think are really the only 3 real EDRs out there. I know there's a lot of, we're literally having talks once or twice a week with upcoming and stuff like that. And we will, or sorry, catching up on some of the mod chat stuff. It's definitely, those are the EDRs to consider. So, you know, Snort is a detection process. The Hive, that is a documentation platform, if I remember correctly, where we're looking at MISP for that. So, but you're literally putting documentation together about current and past incidents, so that way you and your team can be able to actually do it. I mean, everything, and Nessus is a vulnerability management scanner. So those are all different parts to various conversations, but none of the stuff that you asked for, Roswell, is considered or in the same thing as an EDR. Snort is network intrusion detection, not endpoint. Okay, thanks DJ BSEC. I thought you could at least... So DJ BSEC put into a mod chat that Snort is for network detection and network intrusion detection, not endpoint. But I thought you could adjust your Snort rules into your workstation. I know you could do them in your firewall, and pfSense is one firewall that loves importing Snort rules. But for some reason, I thought you could do it on your endpoint as well. No, now that I'm thinking about it, no, you can't. Another thing for you to understand, when you don't mess with stuff on a daily basis because your industry, the industry that you're focusing on is so narrow, you tend to forget about some of these other things. And this is really why I love everybody that's in the mod chat and everybody that's in chat here, because you guys and gals keep me straight on the stuff that I have potentially forgotten or incorrectly remember. Yeah, I do know it's open source. Yep, we are nerding out over here. All right, so from another person, I'm not going to butcher their name, Taiwan Gong. In the practice of hacking, is it good to go protocol by protocol? No, I just do. When I did that, it was just IP by IP, and then well, I guess it is. So protocol by protocol. No, I never really did protocol by protocol. Some of the tools did. Sorry, I got something itchy on the back of my head. I'm not sure what the heck it is. Maybe I got bit by a bug last night or something. Typically in a traditional hacking scenario, you're looking at, fully qualified domain name, what the IP addresses are underneath there, scanning each of the IP addresses for open ports, seeing what comes back, responding to that, and then some tools go as far to see if it's TCP, UDP. I don't think it really helps, the protocol that's actually allowing if it's TCP or UDP. Oh, breaking news. Those who are still with us, 164 of you crazy people. We do have a public speaking master's class, or master's meeting, in the Simply Cyber Discord meeting tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there, or be square. Any last questions? Oh, we had J.E. and Michael. Follow-up question. 4 monitors. I cap it at 3. 1 curved and 2 flat. What's the extra monitor for? So, I'm not going to disclose that publicly. There's no way of saying that publicly without divulging it. If you're Wild Wild Hackfest, and I actually go this route, talk to me outside. The Rich 464 question. I was curious about what the insurance policy for Barricade includes. There are a few companies offering coverage options, or is it all Lloyd's? The Rich, I don't understand your question. Barricade doesn't do insurance? Rich464, please try to rephrase that question, because to me at least, looks like you're asking me what insurance coverage offerings Barricade does, and we don't. So please rephrase your question. This will be my first year going to Wawa Hacking Fest. Casually Joseph's been there before. Kimberly Can Fix It before. Has been before. But this will be the first time I'm let out of the dungeon. Man, this spot really itches. Oh, thanks, DJ BSEC. So, the assumption here is, I think he's wanting to know about how insurance companies work for your services. I think the second part is, are all cyber insurances backed by Lloyd's of London? No. So that's two parts. We are working on what's called panel approval for a lot of the insurance companies, and that is a very daunting task. Panel pretty much means you're approved by an insurance carrier to work in your area of specialty, and we will pay your bill. Sometimes getting exclusions in place, things of that nature, definitely helps, and it's a whole friggin' process. But not all insurance, the second part, not all insurance companies are backed by Lloyd's of London. Fun fact, I will probably have to be traveling to London soon to have some very real conversations with people. But like Travelers is its own. Lloyd's of London is a big, massive one, but you also have Beasley. You have Travelers. There's a number of big players, but they're all independent. Any last questions, ladies and gentlemen? Stupid thing. Did my stream deck just mess up? My stream deck just messed up. When in doubt, reboot it. Yeah, I'm going to go to London, and we're definitely going to have some conversations. Why is my stream deck broken? I shouldn't say broken. It acts like it's playing stuff, but it's not. All right, let me restart the Stream Deck app. I should create a ticket with DJ BSEC saying help, my Stream Deck is broken on stream. It's impacting my work. Quit Stream Deck, quit. Hooray, we do have a baton holder. Upgrading Jeff has the baton. Yay! Thank you so much, Upgrading Jeff, for picking that up. Oh, that's weird. I think I need to yeetus delete this entire config and redo it. Whatever. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. I haven't seen any new questions. If we did see, if there was a question that came in that I overlooked, I am terribly sorry. We will try to get to it. I think I am back on Thursday. I believe so. I'll double check my notes, but I do believe I'm back on Thursday. And again, may or may not be 2 people doing Worldwide Wednesday. I know I definitely will not be one. Unless I'm in the green room just helping out do stuff. But nobody wants to be doing geography. So some people much smarter in that area of expertise will be definitely here to help you with all that. So with that, we will bow out to sea shanty and close this thing out. Thank you so much, one and all, seriously, for coming and hanging out with us today. I do appreciate, just kicking back, relaxing, talking amongst friends. So we will post there was a question about an example BEC case. We will talk about that on Thursday. I got to be very careful I pick the right BEC case because we've had some active ones that are definitely under attorney-client privilege right now. So I want to make sure I talk about one that's not currently that way. So remind me Thursday. We'll talk about a BEC. All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all take care of yourselves. I truly appreciate everybody hanging out, and I will see y'all Thursday.
A kid whose passwords laid across all sites, they were the same. A criminal then found their fame by taking that data to go.
Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run. One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your account and go.
Content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. we're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.